Hello, everyone. We are here for another episode, and I'm super excited to have with me today Sharon Sammut. She is an entrepreneur. She is a registered holistic health practitioner and a PSYCH-K facilitator whose work bridges science, spirituality, and subconscious transformation. After building a multi seven-figure business in the property and construction industries, Sharon experienced a powerful awakening, realizing that success without soul is just another cage. She walked away from the grind to follow a deeper calling, guiding others to reprogram their subconscious mind, raise their frequencies, and align with a life of true abundance. Through her platform, she helps women dissolve old beliefs, reconnect with their soul's truth, and embody whole health living where mind, body, and spirit work in complete harmony. And today she leads powerful conversations around consciousness, high frequency living, high purpose driven evolution, and inspiring others to break cycles, trust their intuition, and create the life that their soul came here to live. So, Sharon, thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me, Macy, all the way from Australia. It's
Yes,
beautiful to connect with people all over the world that are like-minded. It's always a wonderful feeling.
it is. And it's, you know what? It is amazing to be able, like, thank you, Zoom, for being able to give us this opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, my girl. Well, let's get started with the, loaded question. What got you to doing what you're doing today?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in a nutshell, the bio you just read out pretty much painted a picture of that. And that was, like I said, I'd been in construction running businesses for about, I don't know, it would have been about 18 years. And I'm still involved in real estate as well, but differently without the hustle I choose now. So basically, there was a time that was probably familiar to all of us about 5 years ago. Lots of shifts, lots of realizations. Something in me wasn't sitting well, not just with what I was doing, but what I was perceiving the world to be at that time. Um, I felt a very deep calling to, I guess, lead life differently. And that came with a lot of aches and pains and some disease as well. The knocks on my physical body kept getting louder and louder until one day I paid attention and built, I don't know, do you call it courage? But just built the resilience to approach my husband. And we'd been running these companies together since we met, pretty much when I was pregnant with the boys. Actually, I've got twin boys. So I started the company whilst I was pregnant, 8 months pregnant, knowing I was about to deliver twin boys within a month, but I was still on maternity leave from a previous job, and it was the only way we could manage it. So as you could imagine, I look back now and think, how the heck did I do that? But anyway, yes, I was a hustle culture grind. I did what I had to do, and that was it. There was no questions asked. It was just soldier on, whether you're in disease or not. Anyway, back to the 5 years, and I just knew there was something more, and I couldn't I couldn't keep ignoring. So I approached him and I said, look, I feel like I want to explore new fields. Something isn't sitting right with me at the moment. I feel like I need to be doing more. I was being called to service, which is what, when in retrospect, when I look back now, knowing that it had always been part of me anyway. So I took the leap and then he took the leap as well, funnily enough. And we ended up making a very conscious decision to sell everything because the company, as we knew it then, supported our entire life. From our houses, our cars, our clothes, our kids, everything. So this was a very ballsy move, as you could imagine. And it was scary at the time. However, I knew there was more. And even though that was a really, really tough time to go through physically, spiritually, I was already looking where I was going. I already knew there was more. It was just about navigating that inner 3D reality, which always looks so different. So yeah, basically went on and started practicing PSYCH-K, which I've found the power of the subconscious mind. And I was so amazed because I didn't really even know anything much about the subconscious mind back then, but I had held onto so many patterns, so many programs from a very traumatic childhood that I'd taken into my adult life without realizing. And these looked like fear of losing for me. And that's why I was the hustle and grind culture. And I did what I had to do, no questions asked, whether I was in disease, whether it meant numbing the pain with substance, whatever it took, I had to do, because there was a lot of programs deep rooted in me that I wasn't aware of until I started unpacking and becoming aware, because it's only when we become aware that we can shift these programs and change them. Because I think the biggest thing for me was understanding that, yes, we do have the programs, yes, we're carrying things, but we can change anything that we desire, and we can live life on our terms, our way, suiting who we are in this present moment, not who we were 10 or 20 or 40 years ago. So that's when my journey with PSYCH-K started. I started doing the one-on-one work. Then I found Quantum University, and I thought, I'm taking this further. I'm getting a degree at 44 years old. And I studied at Quantum University with so many of my amazing mentors at the time, people like Bruce Lipton, Joe Dispenza, so many great teachers. And here I am, creating tools, running businesses, but doing it my way.
Yeah. Yes,
Doing it
and
my
writing
way
it,
based on who I am today.
yes, and writing it with your soul as the
Yes.
driver of that. So let's go. I want to touch base on that because you in your bio there was an important note around, success without soul is just another cage. What
Yeah.
was that cage like for you?
Yeah.
And then what are some things that we notice in our own cages that we may not be aware of?
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, first things first is, what's bringing you joy? Is what you're doing every day fulfilling your heart space? Are you happy? Are you feeling connected? These are the things that I wasn't. I wasn't any of those things. Even though I love business, and I do feel like I'm great at structure, organization, all those things with business. But the way I was doing business was very much based on an outdated version of me. And that's why I found myself in disease. So even though on paper I looked successful, I had status, I had all the good things. I looked like I had it all together. I really didn't have any of it together. So I was living life, I was making money. However, it wasn't aligned with my soul. So therefore, to me, I wasn't living my true potential. So it's just another cage. It's just another block. It's just another way to live in survival, and that's all. And I wasn't okay with that anymore because it wasn't bringing me joy. It wasn't bringing me the things that make me happy. And it's that simple. And it's about recognizing that. So it's going to look completely different for all of us, isn't it? Our programs are based mostly on our upbringing, and our upbringings are so different. So what's blocking us or what's not making us feel joy, we just need to be really honest with ourselves when we answer those questions and not judge ourselves for it. Why am I feeling this way? For me, it was, why am I feeling this way? I've got money, I've got healthy kids, I've got a beautiful husband, I drive beautiful cars, I have an incredible house, I have property. Yeah, but so I felt guilty to some degree, right? I felt guilty and ungrateful for feeling this way. Of course, then obviously gratitude started coming into it and things started shifting there when I became aware of the power of gratitude. But I was also very guilty. And why would I want to sabotage what we've built over 18 years for everyone else? But then Sharon was left unhappy, numbing myself with alcohol, being around toxic people just to put a smile on my face for the external world to see. But inside, I wasn't smiling. And to me, that's prison.
100%. And I love that you even noted it that way of judging yourself. So there's so many women that I work with, and even myself being in these same shoes at one point of like, okay, I've got the success, everything looks great on paper, and it's like, fuck, I feel like I'm dying on the inside. Like I feel empty. I feel like I'm a shell. I didn't
Mm.
like who I was as a mom. I
Lonely.
like that
Yeah.
version of myself, you know? It wasn't the version that I wanted to put out there. And I know I'm not alone in that. And I know there's a lot of our listeners who are in the same way because we get caught up in that. We're always chasing the next success, the next success, the next success, but never feeling truly fulfilled on the inside. So we miss that gap and that joy. And that's really it at the end of the day is where's your joy?
Mm. Mm. And as mothers, a lot of us as well feel and been programmed to believe that we put everyone else before ourselves.
Yes. Yeah.
I know for me, growing up in a household, a European household, the men ate first. Then the kids got served their food, and their mum was always last.
Mm.
So whatever was left for her was left for her. But so long as everyone else was fed first, and this is just a metaphor, but
Yeah,
it
yeah.
actually happened. That's just the way it is for us. Me growing up, it was everyone else first, and whatever's left is for me. So yeah, we do put ourselves last often, and then this comes down to self-love, self-acceptance. There's so many things that these sorts of behaviors and beliefs then bring up as well.
Yes. And I love that you say that even with those leftovers, because that's been a topic of conversations with different clients of the leftovers or the crumbs or, this is all you get. And
Hmm.
actually, I know you say that as a metaphor, but I know people who would serve everybody else first and they would be the last to eat. And I'm like, go feed yourself first. Like,
Well, I think I just got goosebumps then, but I think, yeah, it's just so ingrained in so many of us that it's really hard to break. It's really hard to break. I still find myself doing that, even though I'm completely aware of it. And
yep.
yeah, and we really do feel then guilty for taking time for ourselves, taking ourselves for a massage or a walk or anything. And it's just, yeah, that really needs to shift.
It
Um,
does. Well, and then
I,
over time, it produces a lot of resentment because here it is, I'm giving to you. I've given to you for so long. When is
yeah,
it my turn? Well, you
yeah.
have to take your turn. You have to take your own turn.
And when we feel good, this is the one thing that I always go back to, because when I feel good, everyone around me feels better and good because we are ultimately the matriarch and
Yes.
you hold it all together. So if I've gone out and I've, gone to these are the things I love to do. Gone shopping down the road to the organic shop, taken myself for a lymphatic massage, went for my walk with my dog. I'm feeling $1,000,000. So everyone around me is feeling $1,000,000 too, because energy isn't within, it ripples beyond us. So
Yes.
however we're feeling is rippling onto the others, and life is just easier.
It is.
Not
I use the analogy. Oh, I'm sorry. What'd you say?
I said not just for us, it's for
Yeah.
everyone else around us as well.
I use the analogy a lot of times with my clients, like you have a cup of water. So if we keep it full, well, okay, cool. We have a full cup of water, but who takes the first few sips? Are you giving it
Yeah.
to your kids? Are you taking your big sips? Even if you take your big sips, there's still water left over for other people. So my kids
Yes.
come in, they love to drink out of mommy's cup. I don't know what's so magical about mommy's cup, but there must be something. And so they'll come around and they'll be like, Mom, your water tastes so much better. I'm like, bro, came out of the same fridge.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
nonetheless, I make sure like I'm going to take my sips first. And when I give to, same thing that I do for my routines, mom
Yes.
has to take care of mom so that I can have the best energy to give to you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the other thing is they love your water because mummy is magical.
Mommy is magical. Facts. Facts. Thank you. Yes.
Absolutely.
So let's shift gears for a second. Let's talk more about your Psych-K as being a facilitator, what do you do in your program that's different to help women be able to rewire their subconscious minds? Like, what are we looking for? What are we doing in here?
Yeah, absolutely. So with PSYCH-K, that's more of a one-on-one sort of modality, okay, which I've actually shifted gears from at the moment. And
Okay.
what I'm doing instead is based on the principles of PSYCH-K and my work as a holistic health practitioner, which basically comes down to high frequency living choices. I'm combining these things to create tools, really simple, bite size, 5 days, things, just things, noticing the internal dialogue, because that's huge.
Mm.
Okay, on what we are experiencing in our reality. So basically, PSYCH-K is all about becoming aware of where we have a block in life. What is stopping us from taking that step forward? Now, in PSYCH-K, you would sit with me, and I would ask you something along the lines of what brings you here today. Okay. Obviously, there's more conversation, but in a nutshell, why are you here today? What have you noticed? What's going on? And it would be a conversation, and things will come up. Things around maybe not being able to lose weight, not being able to find a job that you like. It could be you're just not feeling good, you're not feeling energetic. Many things. It could be anything. So what's stopping you from taking a step forward? And then we have a conversation around that, and I ask you, how do you want it to be instead? So you come up with how you want it to be instead, and then we work using muscle testing to test if you believe that at a subconscious level. And most of the time you don't. So then there's processes that we go through where we consider the whole brain, where we sit in a whole brain posture, because we're using the left and right hemispheres, and we often don't think from a whole brain state, and we think about how we want it to be instead from a whole brain state, which is also known as the genius brain. And yeah, so we're going through processes, and towards the end of the session, we muscle test if you believe how you want it to be. If you're believing that statement now, and generally it's a big fat yes, then we take the action steps. Now we have to set 3 or 4 action steps that one would do in
Mm.
order for the physical body to embody how you want it to be. So, and then it's just, a matter of routine about going to bed at night and repeating how you want it to be instead. And, a subconscious program is about your belief. So your belief comes from the thoughts that you repeat. So if we're repeating the way we want it to be instead over and over, we're going to download that as truth. We're going to download it as a belief. That belief forms our perception, and it dictates how we act in the world. So it's a beautiful, simple way to think about reprogramming what is blocking you from moving through life. And I want nothing more than to see everyone thriving and glowing and living from their heart space, whatever that means to them. And it's different for all of us. So in a nutshell, that's what I'm working with.
Oh, I love that. And let me tell you, I'm a big fan of muscle testing. I'm so
Yes.
down for that.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of the work that I use, even with my clients, for just so many different avenues. But I'm
Yeah.
curious, so for our listeners here, because some people are going to come in and they're going to be like, okay, these are my beliefs, and yes and no, I don't believe them, I do believe them, whatever the case is. What would you say to somebody who's sitting in the space and how would they know that they're still stuck? Even though they keep repeating it over and over and over, no, yes, I believe this. How would you know on a subconscious level, or how could they identify on a subconscious level? Oh, I really don't believe
So
this.
let's say you've got a desire. Okay, there's something that you want to achieve. Let's lose weight. All right, that this is big for so many people. Let's say you lose weight, but you keep going back to your old habits. So let's say, for example, there's 2 things you want to do. You want to go to the gym and you want to eat better. Okay, so you go to the gym for 2 days, and then you go back to an old habit. You sit on the couch, you watch TV. Okay, if you're honest enough with yourself without having to go to see or make an appointment with me or someone like me, you already know that there's something going on here because you keep falling into old habits. And okay, there's a lot when it comes to habits. There's a lot, okay? Because even though some behavior might be toxic for us and we know it, because it's familiar, we release dopamine whenever we are doing that habit. So we just need to be really aware of, okay, so I want to lose weight, but I keep sitting in front of the couch and eating all the foods I said I didn't want to eat. So what's going on here? These things are blocking you from your goal. It's as simple as it is. So we need to set new habits. We need to ingrain new beliefs. We need to tell ourselves how amazing we feel over and over when we are exercising, when we are eating better. We need to tell ourselves we are that 69 kilos we wish to achieve, and we need to keep taking action towards it. And whenever something comes up, we tell ourselves how we want it to be instead, and we keep reinforcing that new belief. It really is a matter of being completely honest with yourself without the judgment, just honest in what you are doing, the behavior you are repeating every day. And if it's not serving you, you keep doing it. So really, you're choosing it.
Yeah. I love that you bring up the part about the judgment though, because I think so many women, we are judgmental about ourselves on so many different, I'm not a good mom. I'm not
Yeah.
worthy enough. I'm not this. I'm not good enough. I'm not this. And of course, it boils down to self-worth wounds that are there, but also self-love wounds. Do I love myself enough to continue to put forth the habit? And I love that you bring science into it also, because that dopamine response, that's where comfortability sits. Oh, this
Right.
feels good. This feels good. And one of the things, being a holistic health practitioner too, and a trauma healer and even medical intuitive, on the side of the work that I do, so I have this thing that is literally out there. I've expressed it so many times, like part of the brand. Symptoms equal stories, stories equal beliefs, and beliefs equal results.
Mm-hmm.
If you
100%.
don't like your results, guess what? We have to change.
That's right.
Yeah, we got,
Absolutely.
we
100%.
got,
And it's not easy. Now, you're not, the majority of us, and I think we spoke about this when we initially had a chat. There's so many socials, there's so much that we're looking at continuously. Again, what are we choosing? What are we choosing every day for ourselves? And it comes down to how do we feel?
mm-hmm,
And it's not going to be a big bang, like you're not just going to go from, 100 kilos to 60 kilos in a day. It's the 1% every day, and that's the compound that's the habits that compound into your transformation. I really think that we do judge ourselves and think we've got to be a certain way. We've got to do, I mean, it's got to be quick. It's got to be quick, fast, 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 because that's, especially in the Western cultures, that's how we live, right? But it's not about that. It's about unpacking, unpeeling every day and just really falling in love with that journey. And yes, some days you are going to, not follow the routine or the habits that you're enforcing, but be okay with that too, because it's all part of your evolution and you're not staying there for as long as you used to. Look at all the positive things because perception is everything when it comes to transformation.
So I like how you bring that up as far as that perfectionism or that all or nothing mentality, because there's so many women here who fall into that gap. It's all or nothing. And if it's nothing, then it's nothing. If I fail one day or one time, I fail forever. And
Mm.
it's that moment of that breakdown. What would you say on the subconscious mind and soul level is really going on here in that perfectionism?
Look, I think it's different again for all of us. And to say there's one size fits all, for me, I'm not an all or nothing person. You might be, I'm not. I need to do the everyday thing and I need to take things slowly. So on a soul level, again, it comes to how you're feeling. At a subconscious level, it's about believe, enforcing those beliefs, rewiring the brain, you know, because remember, the mind is giving the brain meaning. Okay, so if our thoughts create things. So, so, basically it's whatever is making us feel good. I think it really does come down to our heart space is our connection to our truth. Our heart space is our connection to source. And then remembering that we are source, we are the creator, and we get to live life how we create it. So
Yeah.
whatever that means for you.
Well, and I think a lot of it goes into having grace and compassion too, right? Over yourself and your journey.
Yeah,
So, and I know there's different kinds of subconscious patterning and rewiring that, we add in there. Even in some of the work that I do with my clients on the trauma healing side, you're not going to heal overnight. This is not Amazon Prime. We ain't delivering results in 2 days.
that's
It's
right.
not how it works. But again, it is effort. That 1% effort
Yeah,
compounds over time.
1%. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it does. And it so does. And it's in everything. Consistency in business, in health, in everything, in your connection. Every day is about making good choices for yourself. When we talk about high vibration, staying in high vibe, so we're in the resonance and at the frequency of our desires because everything's available in the field. Yeah, that's all good and fine. But in the physical world, it's about just every day choosing good, choosing high vibration, doing your best to, whatever it is you're consuming. And I'm not just talking about food, I'm talking about everything in your reality, choosing good for yourself. Yeah, it's just the way it is. It's 1% every day. You just keep going and you will see transformation. You'll look back and you might not see it straight away. And this is what I love. You might not see it straight away, but in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, you look back and think, wow, I dealt with that so differently today. I'm so proud of me. Those little, moments that you just go, yes, I got this. I've just grown. I'm just such a different person now. And it's not going to happen tomorrow or in 2 days. It's going to happen over time.
Yes. And it's over time, I think also, like you're saying, it's over time of continuing to choose yourself.
Yeah.
You're committing to, I choose me. I choose my
Yeah.
health. Everything is a choice. Everything is a choice.
Yeah, and
And
in awareness, it's an awareness,
yeah,
and awareness leads to another, then to another, then to another. Every practitioner we go and see, every massage we go and get, everything we do, it's just to it's just to create awareness, isn't
yes.
it? And then once
Yeah.
that penny drops, aha, right, okay, I got this. You shift in that moment. That's the quantum leap. It's not complicated. That's the leap we're all looking for. It's just choosing it for yourself.
Yeah. And choosing it thereafter. As soon as you have those
Absolutely.
aha moments, it's like, oh, it's almost like a full rewiring, re-energetic pattern that happens and rewiring that
And
happens.
it does.
And it's just like, I forever choose this right route.
Yeah, yeah,
But it has
absolutely.
to, I think it's also, we're getting these signs and symbols and signals, all the time that when it just hits the right way and it hits the right response, it sticks.
Yeah.
And it's a
And I'll
commitment to yourself at that point of
absolutely.
this is what I want and this is where I'm putting my efforts into it.
Yeah.
And having that accountability space like, the work that you do and having, being able to intuitively see that a lot faster and a lot easier. I think that helps people get more accelerated results.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And just remember that we all start from a different place as well. So I've been doing this, I'm 49 now. I've been seeing practitioners and all sorts of different people since I was 20 because I had some disease that allopathic couldn't help me with. I seeked different. I got really good results. And since that point, the doors opened up for me. So this is a long journey. It didn't happen in 5 years. This has been awarenesses created through my entire life. And then one day saying, this is what I want to do, and this is how I want to guide others, because this is what's helped me so much. And so many people around me. So yeah, we're all starting from different places. So
Yeah,
again, we don't have to all be psychic, but I also believe that it's not reserved, enlightenment isn't reserved for just a few of us,
right.
it's in all of us. And it's just about unpacking and learning. It's all about coming back to who we are. That's what it's all about. Who we are here, why we are here, what contracts did we have, like just coming back to our truth and just getting, releasing those programs. But it really is just coming back to who we truly are.
And I think the wellness industry misses that. That's the
Yeah.
point that they miss whenever it comes to health, whenever it comes to weight loss, whatever the case is. So, those of you that are listening, this is not a judgment. Oh, I didn't get my aha moment. That's not what we're talking about. What we're
No,
saying is you need that holistic approach. You need to have all the ducks in a row working for you, working for your body, because the wellness industry misses those things.
it
If you
does.
look,
Very much so.
yeah, Western medicine, even that,
Yeah.
nobody's hitting the mark of where your patterns and nobody, when you go to a doctor, they're not turning around asking you, well, tell me about your childhood and tell me about your stress.
That's right.
They don't
It's
ask those
just
questions.
they're there to treat symptoms, and we need them, right? We need them
Yeah.
to a certain degree, but we gave our power away to that. And this is what I realized, and that's the moment I realized, that time that I don't even want to mention, but it was what I realized, that everyone gave their power away.
Yeah.
What is going on? What the heck? Seriously? And I was very angry because I was being judged for my choices. And I knew there was a knowing in me that I just knew that what was going on wasn't right.
Yeah.
And I doubted myself because everyone was so against me. I was lucky enough that my whole family wasn't, but it was a tough time. But the biggest realization for me in that time was that we gave our power away
And
to
I
the
think,
white coat.
and
Yeah.
I agree with you because I think so many women, they go to the doctor, you're looking for answers. We may not be, medically knowing all these things, but I've been living with my symptoms.
Mm.
I want to be able to advocate for myself and my
Yeah.
health. I'm coming
Mm.
here for answers. And again, this is where I just feel like there is a place for, practitioners and physicians in the medical industry, but the wellness industry also misses that gap in there.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is where practitioners like me and you come in to be
Mhm.
able to give them an avenue of you need the whole picture, not just a
Yeah.
part of it. If you don't,
Well, it's a whole health model, isn't it? And
yeah,
we're not just the physical body. If anything, the physical body manifests disease for the higher layers. So whatever we're spiritually, mentally, emotionally lacking is manifesting as disease in the physical. That's the physical body telling you, showing you, hey, like it was for me, there's something not right here. I'm sore in my back. I'm sore here. I've got inflammation. Where's it coming from? What's the root cause? And I know that's not always an easy answer, but if we look at ourselves as a whole person, are we connected? Are
mhm,
we looking after our mental and emotional health? Are we looking after our physical? Because it's all connected, it's all one. We're not just a physical body. And that's where medicine and wellness has gone. There's so much emphasis on the physical that everything else has been forgotten. Again, comes down to lots of things in our life right now, like your
yeah,
social media. But again, what are you believing to be
yeah.
true? Because we know deep down that a lot of the shit we're seeing online isn't fucking true.
That's
We know
absolutely
it's
right.
bullshit,
And then
but
you know what?
by it.
Yeah. And hustle culture is constantly in that state of think for the next moment, do for the next thing, all about the next thing. We cannot be present in the here and now. What's
No.
interesting to me is whenever I get clients that come to me and they're stuck in that fight and flight response. And I've been here too. I'm just as guilty. But being that mom where it's like, do I even look at my kids' faces? Do I take note of what's on their face? Like, dear God, when they get a new mole, I'm like, oh, you have a new speck on your hand. What is it? Or
Yeah,
whatever the case is. But like, how often are we present?
not often.
No, God, that
I don't
hustle.
remember raising, like I said, with the businesses, when I was pregnant with the boys and then had them. And I actually don't remember most of that time. And I mean, I'm not one to say I wish I had have, could have, should have, because that's the past and that was my consciousness
Right.
at that moment. But I choose different now.
Yes.
I
And that's
choose the way I do things now to be completely different. So, and that's the
yeah.
point. That's
And
the
that and
point.
that's what I was gonna say. That's the point of everything that we're talking about today is that awareness aspect. Now from
Yeah.
here, we rewire.
Yes,
Like,
absolutely.
yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. And another thing I like to say is about the present moment. It's really powerful because all we have is the present moment. Anything that's ever happened to us has only happened in the present moment. And that's a really important philosophy as far as I'm concerned, because we only have the now.
Hmm.
The past is a memory, the future is a dream. Well, yeah, it's not even here yet. So all we have is now. So what are we doing now? Like
Yeah.
right now, I'm chatting with you and my heart is full. I'm getting goosebumps. That's what I'm choosing. This
Yeah.
is what I'm choosing for myself in this present moment.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. And it's also, that brings up embodiment in there as well, because you can't embody what you're not present in.
That's right. Absolutely.
So, on that note, let's talk about the importance of embodiment in rewiring your patterns and creating those higher frequencies. What would you say to somebody? Let's say they're a high achieving woman, they're kind of like you and me, and they've built the business, they built the success, but they're missing the embodiment. What would you say to
Mm.
somebody about the importance of bringing that embodiment back in to that
Be
person?
her now. You need to be her now. So, whatever it is you desire, you need to be her in the present moment. What does she talk like? What does she walk like? What does she wear? How does she speak? What does she eat? What does she drive? Script. Embody her now. Because when you are in the frequency of her in this present moment, you align with her in the field. Therefore, whatever it is that you desire, you're going to see in your reality.
Yeah. Mm.
But you can't just do it for 1 minute. You
Right.
have to, yeah, you have to, again, it comes down to the 1%, choosing good for you every day, for her every day. I actually had one part of my program is called Be Her Now. And we go through all those things like self-love, scripting, like the power of words, the power of scribing. It's something I do every single day. I talk out loud of who I am, my desire,
Yeah.
money, health, wealth. I scribe it. I talk out loud. I connect to, those, the energies around me. And I know that it's me because there's no other option. There's no
Right.
questioning for me
Yeah.
about my desire because I know it's already happening. It's because it's my choice.
Right. Oh,
But
yes.
I need to
And
be her. I can't sit and use words. Words are so powerful. I don't know if you've looked at the work of Dr. Emoto, is it? Emoto, where the words and the crystals in the water. Have a look. This is the power
oh,
of words because
yes,
this,
yes, yes.
yeah. So just the power of words. Notice those words, the dialogue, even if it's just internal. Like I was saying, I'm coming up with a program at the moment, which is a really 5-day quick bite-sized program, but it's about internal dialogue detox. So just becoming aware of using words like I wish, I hope, I am. I am, I have. This is powerful when you are embodying the version of you that holds your desire, whatever that is. So I
Yeah.
find this really powerful, actually.
I love that because I'm a big journaler. I love journaling. And anytime a client comes to work with me, I'm like, get notes and paper ready. Paper and pen is what you're going to need for this. And sometimes they'll do it, via electronic. But the biggest thing is your handwriting. And a lot of times I have them stop and like take note of simple words that they say. Even in the middle of
Exactly.
conversation, it's like, oh, I was so stupid for thinking that. You're stupid? We're not,
Yeah,
no, we don't talk to ourselves like
exactly.
that.
That's right. And this is the dialogue. That's our inner world, or our outer world is a reflection of our inner world. And
Yes.
the majority of that comes from the internal dialogue. I mean, how many of us sit for 15 minutes and just listen to what's coming up?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so
Yeah.
powerful. So powerful. See, for me, I like journaling. I like scribing. I know it's super powerful. But for me, I find it more powerful speaking it out loud because that brings out more emotion in
Yes.
me.
Yeah.
So then I know it's about the emotion too. We can say whatever, but if we're
Yeah.
not feeling it,
Yeah.
we're not achieving it because
And
emotion is
yeah.
energy in motion, right?
Yes,
So
it
yes,
is.
need to generate that emotion. You really need to feel into it. And this is the importance again. I can't keep coming back to it, but the choices, high vibration, high frequency, making good choices for yourself because when you don't feel good emotion.
Yeah.
So let's just say we've been on a binge for the weekend. We ain't feeling good on Monday. I don't give a shit what anybody says.
I
Okay.
agree.
So I can talk and scribe all I want, but I'm going to be feeling like shit. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's no point because always do it because it's consistency. But we really need to really think about generating those emotions when we are journaling, when we are speaking out loud, whatever it is we're choosing.
Yeah. And also when you look at yourself in the mirror or like any type of reflection, like what are your first initial thoughts? Are they happy thoughts? Are they angry thoughts? What kind of thoughts are you having about yourself? Because if there's this, I don't know, negative space, my grandmother used to tell me all the time, tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you're, a sum of the five people that you hang out with. And it's like, well, if you don't like some things about yourself, maybe take around, look at your environment to see what does
Absolutely.
need to change.
100%. It's all the food, the drink, the people, the what we're putting in on our body. I mean, this list is huge, but we
Yeah.
start small.
Yep.
Start having a look at what's in the pantry. Start having a look at what you're choosing to do every day. Just being aware. Again, awareness is the key to dismantling those patterns, those programs, those habits that no longer serve us.
Yeah. So I'm curious, what was one belief that you had to let go of to become who you are today?
Oh my God, there's been hundreds.
What's one that you're like, this one was the first one,
Literally
kick it to the curb?
hundreds. The one that always comes up for me is fear of losing. I
Oh,
had watched my parents lose things over and over again. It was quite a traumatic upbringing. So in retrospect, I can see where that came from. However, I held on to a belief very strongly that I had to do what I had to do, no matter how hard, without question, grind, hustle, because if I didn't want that. So I took it to the complete opposite of what I saw. So for me, it was holding on to things that no longer served me for fear of losing. And that was probably my biggest one. And with the business came, obviously, that
yeah.
was the
Yeah.
biggest one with
That's like
that.
losing. Yep. I have clients who have sold certain businesses and that was their quote unquote, I failed. And I'm like, or I lost.
Yeah, but it's perception, right? Because sometimes you need to let go of things in order for bigger things to come.
Yes.
And that's exactly what's happened.
Yeah.
So again, perception, learning, awareness, it's all there. But for me, that would have to have been the biggest one. But there was lots. I grew up in a childhood of domestic violence, mental illness, alcoholism. So there was a lot I took with me, obviously without realizing, but there was a lot
Right.
of good things I took with me
Oh yeah.
too. So a lot of resilience, and that's something I never want to change. My backbone is strong. I never want to change that. But now I've let go of the stubbornness. So
That's
I've
always
reached
something great to let go of.
again, perception about everything, that nothing is ever a failure. Everything is a lesson. We just have to choose to see it that way.
Yeah.
And being okay with the versions of us from the past, because they formed who we are today. So many people living in the past, but the past is gone. It's
Hmm.
gone. It's formed you into who you are today. So what, again, coming back to the present moment, what are you choosing today? Do you want to stay a victim of the past? Do you want to keep on using that as an excuse as to why you haven't got to where you've gotten to? Because I did for years. I was allowed to be a bitch. I was allowed to be a brat. I was allowed to say bad things sometimes because I had an excuse. I was allowed to be lazy. I had an excuse. I had a traumatic upbringing. It's all just an excuse, holding on to parts of me that I knew weren't serving me, but
Yeah.
it made me feel okay to not do the things I really wanted to do.
A pattern, a pattern
Mm,
that you develop and that you hold, and that
mm.
becomes embedded in the DNA.
Yeah,
This is where we
yeah,
are. Yeah. Wow.
yeah, yeah,
Love that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, this was lovely. Thank you for the conversation
Always.
today. Do you have anything that you would like to offer, a freebie, anything like that? And then tell us where people can find you.
Absolutely. There are so many things coming from me. There's lots of shifts still happening, which I'm super grateful for, the evolution always. So for me, there is a freebie if you head over to my Instagram and Facebook links, which I'm sure you'll note
Yeah,
somewhere in the
we're going to
notes.
post those
Um,
below.
Yep, click there. There's a freebie that you can obtain there. And that just takes you about more awareness about the conscious and the subconscious mind. Also about a morning or evening and morning routine that's really simple that you can follow, because I do believe that, well, through my teachings, my practices, that starting your morning routine from the night before is so powerful. Theta meditation is so powerful. I do have theta meditations up there as well. If you're interested in knowing more, always reach out. But the easiest is jump on my socials. You also got my website link there.
Yeah.
Connect with me if you'd like to. Follow me, and let's just all evolve together.
Yes. Yes. I love this. Thank you so much for your time today. This was amazing and a wonderful conversation.
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for your time and being here and your expertise. We love it. So,
Thank
all
you.
right, guys, go check out all those links. They're in the description and the comments below. So, if you have any questions, feel free to message me. You can message Sharon, reach out to her personally, and we will catch you guys on the flip side.